You know, it's been more than 3 years. I should really review another anime. An anime about card games? In 1993, Magic the Gathering was released and became the very first trading card game. However, about 6 years later, Yu-Gi-Oh! Came out and became the first competitor to truly put up a fight, partially due to being more accessible. For most people, it was the simpler rules. For me, it was the fact that I could play it alone on my PSP, only paying for the console in the game, instead of paying $100 for a bunch of cards that I never had anyone to play with. Of course, the anime series was a big part of Yu-Gi-Oh's success, starting a wave of imitations. And of all of these, I was requested by someone, sorry, forgot your name, to review Duel Masters. Why that of all things? Let's find out. Supposedly, while Magic the Gathering fanboys were ranting about Yu-Gi-Oh!, Wizards of the Coast commissioned Shigenobu Matsumoto to create a manga about Magic the Gathering. However, the end product was not what they expected. It was about Shobu, a kid playing Magic the Gathering, and not a story about characters from the Magic the Gathering universe. I don't know which universe exactly, take your pick. So they pushed a demand. Manga will feature an original card game, and once an anime comes out, it'll be about that in the first place. That's what happened, and the money rolled in. We have an actual Duel Masters card game, and several shows like Duel Masters Charge, Zero Duel Masters, Duel Masters Zero, Duel Masters Cross, Duel Masters Cross Shock, Duel Masters Flash, Duel Masters Victory, Duel Masters Victory V, Duel Masters Victory V3. But still no Super Duel Masters 2 Turbo HD Remix. How disappointing. There's shows airing only in Japan, there's those specifically made by Westerners, and I heard something about a licensing deal being void now, and it's all pretty confusing. But I'm reviewing the very first TV series, so let's get started with that. Here's Shobu Kirafuda, our protagonist, as if you couldn't tell from his haircut and behavior.
Booyah! Okay, Rakuda, let me hear you. Who's the master? Who's the master?
We also meet the two side characters, Sayuki and Rakuda, who are Shobu's supporting friends, basically the token girl and the token nerd. They always follow Shobu as he keeps winning card games. The very first episode has him already winning a tournament, but the real focus is on the shady figure spying on Shobu. It turns out it's Knight, a person whom the kids know from somewhere, and he wishes to play against Shobu, offering to become his mentor. Our hero accepts, of course, but it becomes clear that Knight plays on a whole different level, and so Shobu wants to give up, but not before getting a flashback of his father telling him about never giving up, which gives him new resolve, allowing Shobu to use special powers such as CGI? It's a gimmick of the show to give animated 3D models to certain monster cards. I know they're meant to make things more exciting, but they're not even close to the way the show is drawn. And in case you're wondering, the monsters showing up, the orbs of mana flying from the cards, the glowing hands. Technically the players see them, which implies that they're real, but they are not holograms, and this can't be magic, since if it was, it would have more of a reaction than, huh. But I'm getting sidetracked here. Shobu loses the duel. However, he does not get discouraged by it, and Knight sees promise in him. Following that, a girl called Mimi joins the team, and being completely clueless as to what Duel Masters is, she has a lot of questions about it, letting the audience learn the rules. Or, try to.
Before each duel starts, the players shuffle each other's deck like that, so that neither of them can cheat. Oh. You have no idea what I just said, do you? Nope.
I know Magic the Gathering, so I can tell that the rules are simplified. Still, I don't think it's enough to make someone capable of learning the ropes just from watching the show. Not like that's unusual for its genre, and besides, all the characters act appropriately to the situation, so you can figure out if things are going well or not just by listening to the cast on screen. Although, things do get overly dramatic when the show implies playing a card game can have serious consequences, even when no supernatural elements have been introduced.
They say whoever duels with Ko feels as if he's being sucked into darkness, and then the player never wants to play again.
This is way over the top, Knight.
I know, sounds like the plot of a Japanime cartoon.
Well, at the start of the series, things mostly revolve around the mysterious temple known as the Temple, which is interested in Shobu, so they send their best players to duel, with Shobu winning of course, which will all culminate in a match against the Temple's best player, Hakuo! And, theoretically we could end the review right here. It's a very standard run-of-the-mill card game series with perhaps an interesting production history, nothing more.
Oh, and one more thing, stay away from the Eggs Benedict at the breakfast buffet. You never know how many times the hollandaise sauce has been reheated.
Thanks, Dad. I'll remember.
Although there is one special thing that I hadn't mentioned yet. Perhaps some of you have noticed it.
It's okay, Shobu. We'll go back to the card shop.
Yeah, our parents are probably wondering where we are.
We have parents?
It's kind of subtle, easy to miss.
All right. Hit it!
Huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the temple. Here's a medley of my favorites.
Won't you go home, Rakuda? Won't you go home? I'm really sick of you. Swing low, Gatling Sky Terror.
Wait, stop! This is a gag dub. This is a case when a foreign series or movie gets brought over to another country and is being turned into comedy instead of receiving a faithful translation. The most famous case was where the dubbing team had very little to work with, so they figured comedy was the way to go. But that was a series without a goal of being a huge franchise with toys and cards to sell. Also, don't forget, the original Duel Masters manga was commissioned by an American company, so they must have had an American release planned. And yet, Plastic Cow Productions was picked for the job of adapting this anime, best known for their Star Wars-themed cops parody, Troops! How good is a series when it's made up of the worst parts of English dubs? Let's find out! I have decided that the best episode to highlight would be The Ballad of Kintaro, Part 1 and 2. In it, Shobu prepares himself to enter the temple, as he has attained the key last episode. Upon arrival, they find Bakura! Hakuo!
Now to impress everyone with my novelty flying cape. Impressive.
Wow, a novelty flying cape. That's so cool. Where do you get one of those? I bet you can get one online.
Yes, actually, www.noveltyflyingcapes.com.
Ugh. Well, that joke sucked. Oh, and in case any of you were wondering, no, the noveltyflyingcapes.com website does not exist anymore. Wait, what? I found out about this by accident, but Plastic Cow Productions actually wrote that joke and registered the noveltyflyingcapes.com domain only for the off chance that some viewers will believe that it's real, which a few of them did. The site is long gone, of course, but I was able to find someone who took a screenshot of this site and used it for her desktop. I know, the joke is still lame, but I am sort of laughing at the idea that they went so far to make a stupid joke work. And if I'm laughing, doesn't that mean that that joke works? And yes, this is the only reason for why I picked this episode. Do it! It turns out that this isn't Bakura, nor Hakuo, but Kintaro, Shobu's next opponent. Since even if he now has the key, he doesn't know how to use it. Yes, seriously. So, a duel commences.
This is probably a friend, not someone evil.
What the heck was that about?
Do not let night near the duel until it is over. Do not disappoint me, little one.
Whoa! Mimi is working for the bad guys! Normally, I'd play a clip of the dramatic look squirrel, but that wasn't a bad twist, so kudos, Duel Masters. Mimi immediately jumps into action and tries to stop Knight. Also, again, these are not magical.
Well, I'm on my way to see my very sick grandmother at the hospital, so it would be great if you could move out of the way.
Can't you do a little better than this sick grandmother routine?
I'm giving her one of my kidneys? Darn.
Back to the duel, we get to see the most exciting battle yet. 3D versus 2D. Then, Knight and Mimi come to an agreement.
What is she thinking? The mind of this woman is truly unknowable.
Who's the kid with the spiky hair? Shobu, flaming hand up in the air.
In case any of you can't tell, she's singing the theme song of the show.
Oh, this is so awkward.
But the duel is still on. Yeah. So, Knight arrives and tells Shobu to quit the duel, which Shobu does not, making Knight's arrival...
Why can't I ever get a sure, Knight, whatever you say?
You know, it's impossible to stop Shobu once he's started a duel. It's like trying to stop Madonna from acting. It can't be done.
It's a pain we're forced to live with.
Shobu or Madonna?
Well, it looks like Shobu is about to lose.
We've been down this road before, and I'll tell you, Shobu's managed to pull it off every single time.
Oh, come on, Makuda. What is he going to do? Summon an evolution creature with a low mana cost like Armored Blasting Volgios that will be able to use its Double Breaker abilities right away since it won't suffer summoning sickness? Oh. In case you're curious, yes, I know what all of those rules mean.
But I'm not telling it.
Shobu wins, Knight was completely useless, the end. Sure, this episode doesn't end here, and maybe it wasn't the best choice to begin with, but I have a feeling it kinda gave you a glimpse at the strange sense of humor that the dubbing team had. It's not exactly Monty Python's Flying Circus, but for an officially commissioned English translation of a show that was meant to sell collectible cards to children, this is funnier than it has any right to be. All too often, jokes that are added to anime are just a bunch of bad puns, making you go, ah! So I think it's quite neat to get actual humor for once. It's creative, properly paced, and weird. And this is why I consider this dub to be not only a vast improvement over the boring original, but also a great example of how adding comedy to an anime doesn't always have to be terrible. I can't exactly say for sure whom should or shouldn't watch the show, no matter what I say, not everyone will like it, but if what you saw seemed funny to you, do give it a watch sometime, but only the first 26 episodes, since that's all Plastic Cow Productions did before another company took over.
The only way to never lose at something is not to play.
Now click your heels together 3 times and say there's no place like home.
Ah, the kindness of strangers. I depend on it.
Dr. Jones, I step where you step. I touch nothing.
What is it, Short Round?
This light civilization land might be a small world after all. There's shrimp kebabs, shrimp creole, shrimp gumbo, pan-fried shrimp, deep-fried shrimp, stir-fried shrimp.
Shory's amulet, check. Shory's diary, and double check. Son's happiness, priceless. And for everything else, there's Duel Master cards.
Ah! I know I am sort of running out of time here, but I need to ask a question. Where is Plastic Cow Productions? I looked and couldn't find much about them. Not even that Star Wars spoof everyone mentions. The official website is in Flash, so who knows how old it is. And IMDb does not mention them having worked on Duel Masters, but it does talk about Mario Kart 8 from the Pit and Transposing Music, both of which I find no confirmation on anywhere else. It's a shame. I was hoping they made it big at some point. I'm not saying I'd want them to dub all English anime, but I do feel like they could have made a lot of the stinkers a lot more bearable. But oh well, we'll always have the first 26 episodes of Duel Masters. So, consider giving them a watch. This is Farel Forever, and I'm signing up. Bye!
My little
Raccoon.
My little
Raccoon. Raccoon?
I used to wonder what friendship could be.
Raccoon.
Until you all shared its magic with me.
Raccoon. Wasbeer. Arai-guma. Washbeer. Rocket Raccoon.
It's an easy feat and
Counting.
makes it all complete. You have my
Raccoon.